Talk about a good decision. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best changes in movie remakes. For this list, we're looking at changes made in movie remakes that actually improved upon the original.
Holy crud, he's a sitting duck out there.
Number 10. Making it fun. Ocean's 11. The original Ocean's 11 was less concerned with making an engaging heist film and really just an excuse to get the Rat Pack on screen together in Las Vegas, something that's reflected in the mixed reviews from critics.
Now, these are the 5 casinos we hit. Sahara, Riviera, Desert Inn, the Sands, and the Flamingo.
So, when Steven Soderbergh decided to remake the film, he infused it with enough of his trademark style to make people forget about the original. 2001's Ocean's 11 has become the blueprint for the modern caper flick.
Now, once we get down the shaft, though, then it's a piece of cake. Just 2 more guards with Uzis and the most elaborate vault door ever conceived by man.
Essentially, assemble a slew of A-list stars, have them crack wise in between planning sessions, and give them a glamorous setting to do it in. Soderbergh's version spawned 2 sequels and a spin-off, validating his decision to update the original film for modern audiences.
I'm not sure these belong to me.
Number 9. Better visuals and cinematography. The Ring. You may be surprised to learn that Gore Verbinski's 2002 horror flick The Ring is actually a remake of a Japanese film from 1998. The original, simply titled Ring, was based on a book, and despite a minuscule budget of $1.2 million, was a commercial and critical success in Japan. However, it suffers from a distinct lack of visual style due to its small budget. Thankfully, the remake received a budget of $48 million.
Oh my God.
Add to that Verbinski's skills behind the camera, honed over many years of shooting films and music videos for the likes of NoFX and Bad Religion. The dynamic cinematography and visuals help make the world of The Ring more realistic, and by extension, more terrifying. Number 8. A lavish production. Bram Stoker's Dracula. To call Bram Stoker's Dracula a remake is really an understatement. The character has appeared on film dozens of times since the 20s, with actors like Max Schreck, Bela Lugosi, and Christopher Lee bringing the character to life over the years.
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house. I must apologize for not being here to greet you personally, but I trust that you have found everything you needed.
Bram Stoker's Dracula differed from these other portrayals in a number of ways, with the most obvious being the over-the-top production and performances.
Do not put your faith in such trinkets of deceit.
The sets were big, brash, and beautiful, and the actors weren't afraid to give in to the more dramatic sides of their characters. In the end, it makes for one of the most visceral versions of the character ever seen on the silver screen.
Kiss me and caress me, my darling husband, please.
Number 7. Kong and Anne's relationship. King Kong. Peter Jackson's directorial follow-up to the Lord of the Rings trilogy was King Kong, the kind of film that needs no introduction. The film was a critical and commercial success, with many praising the graphics and the performance of Andy Serkis. However, one thing that truly made the film stand out in comparison to its predecessors was the thoughtful and delicate portrayal of Kong's relationship with Anne. In 2005's King Kong established a strong emotional connection between the 2 characters that the other films failed to realize. The big-budget epic needed something to ground it in reality, and that is precisely what this movie romance did. Number 6. Increasing the violence. Scarface. Even hardcore movie buffs are often surprised to learn that Brian De Palma's 1983 film about a Cuban refugee who becomes a successful drug kingpin is a remake. The original was set in Chicago and featured an Al Capone stand-in played by Paul Mooney.
You afraid of me?
Well, that outfit's enough to give anybody the yips.
It was released in 1932 and was quick to draw the ire of censors for what they perceived as the glorification of violence. Imagine what they'd think of the remake. De Palma's Scarface took the brutality and violence to a new level, contrasting it beautifully with the color and vibrancy of 1980s Miami. It remains one of the decade's most influential films, and has left its mark on everything from TV shows and comic books to video games and rap music.
Say hello to my little friend!
Number 5. Sam Burying Evidence, Cape Fear. In 1991's Cape Fear remake, convicted rapist Max Cady tracks down his former lawyer Sam Bowden, whom he blames for his imprisonment. Turns out that Bowden buried evidence that could have potentially reduced or overturned the charges against Cady.
Anyway, I had a report on this victim, and it came back that she was promiscuous. And I buried it.
This act enhances the motivations of both characters and creates enough drama to carry the film from start to finish. However, this crucial plot point was not in the original Cape Fear from 1962. In that version, the reason Cady hates Bowden is because the latter stopped Cady from sexually assaulting a woman and then testified against him.
Later on, I had to go back up and appear against him as a witness.
Director Martin Scorsese's decision to change Cady's reason for hating Bowden creates a more complex villain, while showing that Bowden is a flawed protagonist.
Would you care to tell the court why?
Number 4. Changing the look of The Fly. The Fly. While we hate to diss a film based solely on the fact that it came out during a time when gore was frowned upon, there's simply no denying that David Cronenberg's 1986 version of The Fly is the better film.
A fly got into the transmitter pod with me that first time when I was alone.
One of the main reasons for this is the decision to ditch the campy B-movie horror of the original in favor of something truly terrifying.
You've missed some good moments.
Jeff Goldblum's slow and gruesome transformation from man to insect is hard to watch, even today. Both films culminate with the protagonist screaming "help me" to no avail, but only Cronenberg's version leaves you feeling nauseous.
Help me. Help me to be human.
Number 3. Changing the Creature. The Thing. Similar to our previous entry, 1952's The Thing from Another World is a victim of the style of the movies that were being made during that period in film history. The villain simply isn't frightening to modern audiences, and the drama is never intense enough to warrant a gasp, let alone a shriek of terror. In contrast, John Carpenter's remake from the early 80s plays up the unseen monster trope to maximum effect.
Anybody touches me, here we go.
Much like the man of Outpost 31, the audience has no idea who to trust, because anyone can be a vessel for a terrifying alien lifeform in Carpenter's world. The Thing remains one of the scariest films of all time, thanks in part to this brilliant change.
Yeah, you too!
Number 2. The darker, grittier look. Dread. There are dozens of action flicks from the 80s and 90s that don't hold up today, and rebooting them with a little extra grit is currently all the rage.
I am the law!
Judge Dredd got the modern treatment in 2012, with Karl Urban replacing Sylvester Stallone under the mask. While the original has its moments, it quickly delves into a cheese fest thanks to the melodramatic performances of Stallone and co-star Armand Assante. The remake decided to ditch the goofiness of the original in favor of something a little cooler.
Let's talk. Talk about what, Judge?
The film is dripping in style and plays host to a handful of solid characters played by actors who actually managed to take the premise seriously. It's dark, gritty, and oh so violent. What's not to like?
How do you want it, kids? Body bags or juve cubes? Makes no difference to me.
Hey, in how many cases from this list have you seen both the original and the changed remake? Tell us in the comments if you really think it was changed for the better in that case. Our pick for number 1 was successful originally and with the remake, which is no mean feat, so let's take a look at some honorable mentions, and then we'll see what we've chosen as the best change in a movie remake. Increasing the drama, Casino Royale.
I have a dinner jacket.
There are dinner jackets and dinner jackets. This is the latter.
Adding an A-list director and stars, The Departed.
Come with me. I'm not the cops. Not asking you.
Giving it style, A Fistful of Dollars. Rooney Mara's portrayal of Lisbeth Salander, the girl with the dragon tattoo.
I guess I must have alarmed you turning up like that.
If you touch me, I'll more than alarm you.
Making Frank Slade more romantic, Scent of a Woman.
I'm feeling you're being neglected.
Well, I'm expecting somebody.
Instantly.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Making it more faithful to the novel, True Grit. The original True Grit, which was based on a 1968 novel of the same name, starred John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn. The film was well received by critics, with Wayne winning the Oscar for Best Actor.
Well, it's a real article, genuine double-rectified busthead.
However, despite being released just 1 year after the book, it strayed considerably from the source material. When Joel and Ethan Coen decided to remake the film in 2010, they took a more faithful approach to Charles Portis's novel.
If you wet your comb, we might tame that cowlick.
Some of the things they kept that the original ditched included Maddie narrating the film, Maddie losing her arm, and LaBeef surviving. The changes don't necessarily mean that one film is better than the other, but they definitely enhance the overall narrative.
Ever stalwart.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.